In the bustling tech landscape of 2015, a group of ambitious visionaries gathered to tackle one of humanity's greatest challenges. Picture this: Elon Musk, fresh from launching rockets and electric cars, sits across from Sam Altman, the wunderkind of Y Combinator. They're joined by a motley crew of brilliant minds: Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever, Wojciech Zaremba, and John Schulman. The air crackles with excitement and a hint of nervous energy. "So, we're really doing this?" Altman asks, a mix of determination and disbelief in his voice. Musk leans forward, his eyes gleaming with that familiar intensity. "Absolutely. The world needs this. We need to ensure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few." And just like that, OpenAI is born. But this isn't your typical Silicon Valley startup. No, these folks are thinking bigger, much bigger. They're not out to create the next addictive app or disrupt the gig economy. Their goal? Nothing less than shepherding the development of artificial general intelligence, AGI, for the benefit of all humanity. It's a lofty ambition, to be sure, but when you've got a cool $1 billion in pledged funding from some of tech's biggest names, including Reid Hoffman and Peter Thiel, suddenly the impossible starts to feel a little more possible. The team sets up shop as a non-profit, a decision that raises more than a few eyebrows in the profit-driven world of Silicon Valley. But for OpenAI's founders, this isn't about making a quick buck. It's about safeguarding the future of humanity itself. As 2015 draws to a close, the newly minted OpenAI team rolls up their sleeves and dives into the deep end of AI research. They're not just dipping their toes in the shallow end of machine learning. They're cannonballing into the depths of reinforcement learning, robotics, and generative models. The tech world watches with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Can this ragtag group of idealists really change the course of AI development? Or will they become just another footnote in the annals of ambitious but failed tech ventures? Little do they know, OpenAI is about to embark on a roller coaster ride that will reshape the AI landscape, challenge ethical boundaries, and spark heated debates about the future of technology and humanity. As the calendar flips to 2016, the team gears up for their first major release, unaware of the twists and turns that lie ahead. They're about to unleash a torrent of innovation that will leave the AI community buzzing. In June 2016, OpenAI drops its first bombshell, OpenAI Gym. It's not your average workout space, folks. This toolkit is a playground for reinforcement learning algorithms, where AI agents can flex their digital muscles and researchers can put them through their paces. Picture a virtual obstacle course for AI, where algorithms learn to navigate complex environments, make decisions, and improve their performance. It's like sending your robot child to kindergarten, except the lessons involve mastering Atari games and balancing poles instead of finger painting and nap time. The AI research community goes wild. Suddenly, everyone and their graduate student is tinkering with OpenAI Gym, comparing notes, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible in reinforcement learning. It's a digital arms race, but instead of weapons, they're stockpiling algorithms and neural networks. But OpenAI isn't content to rest on its laurels. Oh no, they're just getting warmed up. November rolls around, and they unveil their next creation, Universe. If OpenAI Gym was kindergarten for AI, Universe is the entire school system, complete with a dizzying array of subjects and challenges. Universe is a software platform that allows AI agents to interact with, well, pretty much anything a human can do with a computer. We're talking about training AI to use a web browser, play computer games, and even navigate productivity software. It's like the Matrix, but instead of humans plugged into a virtual world, it's AI agents learning to be digital citizens. The implications are staggering. Researchers can now measure and train AI systems across an almost limitless range of tasks. Want to teach an AI to book a flight? Go for it. Fancy training a digital assistant to edit your vacation photos? Universe has got you covered. As 2016 draws to a close, OpenAI has firmly established itself as a force to be reckoned with in the AI world. They're not just talking about benefiting humanity, they're rolling up their sleeves and building the tools to make it happen. But this is just the beginning. The team is already hard at work on their next big thing, a project that will send shockwaves through the natural language processing community. They're about to introduce the world to a little something called GPT, and it's going to change everything. The air in OpenAI's offices is thick with anticipation. Researchers huddle around whiteboards covered in complex equations and neural network diagrams. Coffee cups litter every available surface, testament to the long nights and early mornings fueling this AI revolution. In a corner office, Sam Altman leans back in his chair, a satisfied smile playing across his face. "We're onto something big here," he murmurs to himself, scrolling through the latest test results on his laptop. Little does he know just how big it's about to get. As 2017 rolls around, OpenAI shifts gears, diving headfirst into the murky waters of unsupervised learning and natural language processing. It's like they've decided to teach a computer to understand and generate human language without holding its hand. Bold move, OpenAI, bold move. The research team is buzzing with excitement, fueled by a potent mixture of caffeine, ambition, and the thrill of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're onto something revolutionary, a new approach that could change the game entirely. In the heart of Silicon Valley, a paper is about to drop that will send ripples through the AI community. Its title? Language Models Are Few-Shot Learners. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? But don't let the dry academic title fool you. This paper is the AI equivalent of a rock star dropping a surprise album. At the core of this groundbreaking research is a new architecture called GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It's a mouthful, sure, but it's about to become the hottest acronym in tech since, well, AI itself. Picture this: a language model that can understand and generate human-like text with minimal training. It's like teaching a toddler a few words and suddenly finding them reciting Shakespeare. The implications are staggering. The paper outlines how GPT can perform a wide range of language tasks without being explicitly trained for them. Need it to answer questions? No problem. Summarize a text? Easy peasy. Write a poem in the style of Emily Dickinson? It'll give it a shot, though Emily might have a few choice words about the results. As news of the GPT architecture spreads, researchers around the world start salivating. This isn't just another incremental step in AI development. It's a giant leap, opening up possibilities that were once the stuff of science fiction. But here's the kicker. OpenAI isn't just throwing this out there for academic kudos. They're playing the long game. GPT is just the beginning, the first step in a journey that will lead to increasingly sophisticated language models. In boardrooms and research labs across the globe, executives and scientists are scrambling to understand the implications. If a machine can understand and generate human language this well, what's next? Customer service chatbots that can actually solve problems. AI writers churning out bestsellers. The possibilities seem endless, and more than a little unsettling. Back at OpenAI, the team is already looking ahead. They know they're onto something big, but they also know they've barely scratched the surface. As they huddle around whiteboards, sketching out ideas for the next iteration, there's a palpable sense of excitement in the air. But storm clouds are gathering on the horizon. While the research team celebrates their breakthrough, tensions are brewing in the upper echelons of the organization. Elon Musk, ever the maverick, is starting to have second thoughts about his involvement with OpenAI. His concerns about potential conflicts of interest with Tesla's AI development are growing, and rumors are swirling about a failed attempt to take control of OpenAI. It's like watching a high-stakes game of chess with Musk as the unpredictable king. February 2018 arrives, and the tech world is rocked by the news. Elon Musk is stepping down from OpenAI's board. The official statement cites potential conflicts of interest, but behind closed doors, the story is far juicier. Whispers of Musk's attempted takeover of OpenAI spread like wildfire through Silicon Valley. Picture the scene. Musk, with his characteristic intensity, presenting his vision for OpenAI's future. But instead of nodding heads, he's met with a wall of resistance from his co-founders. It's a clash of titans, with the fate of artificial intelligence hanging in the balance. The rejection stings, and Musk doesn't take it lying down. In a move that sends shockwaves through the AI community, he backs out of his promised $1 billion donation. It's like watching a billionaire take his ball and go home, except the ball is a fortune that could fund years of groundbreaking research. OpenAI puts on a brave face, but the loss of Musk's backing is a blow. The team huddles in conference rooms, frantically crunching numbers and reassessing their long-term strategy. Can they maintain their ambitious research agenda without Musk's deep pockets? Meanwhile, the tech press is having a field day. Headlines scream about power struggles and broken promises. Musk, ever the master of social media, takes to Twitter to share cryptic messages about the future of AI. It's a PR nightmare, with OpenAI caught in the crossfire. But amidst the chaos, a silver lining emerges. Without Musk's outsized presence looming over the organization, OpenAI finds itself with a newfound sense of focus. The research team, led by the brilliant but low-key Ilya Sutskever, doubles down on their work. In the labs, the hum of powerful computers never ceases. Researchers work around the clock, fine-tuning their algorithms and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're on the verge of something big, a leap forward in language processing that will make their previous achievements look like child's play. As the dust settles from Musk's dramatic exit, OpenAI prepares to unveil its next breakthrough. GPT-2 is coming, and it's about to show the world just how far AI has come. The team knows they're sitting on a goldmine of potential, but they're also acutely aware of the ethical implications of their work. In boardrooms and coffee shops across Silicon Valley, the conversation shifts. Is OpenAI better off without Musk's influence? Can they maintain their commitment to benefiting humanity without his ideological drive? And perhaps most pressingly, what will they do with the newfound freedom to pursue their research agenda without Musk's watchful eye? The answers to these questions begin to emerge as 2018 progresses. With Musk out of the picture, OpenAI's researchers throw themselves into their work with renewed vigor. The labs buzz with activity day and night, as if to prove that they don't need a billionaire's backing to change the world. In the heart of Silicon Valley, a revolution is brewing. OpenAI's team is putting the finishing touches on their latest creation, GPT-2. It's not just an incremental improvement over its predecessor. It's a quantum leap forward in language generation capabilities. Imagine a machine that can write coherent, human-like text on almost any topic you throw at it. Science fiction? Not anymore. GPT-2 is about to turn that fantasy into reality. The anticipation builds as the release date approaches. In hushed tones, researchers share snippets of GPT-2's output, each example more impressive than the last. It's like watching a child prodigy grow up and fast forward, surpassing all expectations with each passing day. Finally, the moment arrives. OpenAI unveils GPT-2 to the world, and the reaction is nothing short of seismic. The AI community is stunned by its capabilities. It can generate news articles, craft poetry, and even engage in coherent dialogue. It's as if the machine has suddenly learned to speak, and it won't stop talking. Tech journalists scramble to wrap their heads around the implications. Is this the dawn of a new era in AI? Will human writers soon be obsolete? The headlines range from breathless excitement to apocalyptic doom-mongering. But OpenAI isn't basking in the glow of their success. They're already looking ahead, plotting the next steps in their AI odyssey. In boardrooms and labs, conversations turn to the future. How far can they push this technology? What are the ethical implications of creating machines that can mimic human communication so convincingly? As the dust settles from GPT-2's release, a new reality sets in. OpenAI has proven that they're not just another AI research lab. They're pioneers pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The tech world watches with bated breath, wondering what they'll come up with next. But with great power comes great responsibility, and OpenAI is about to face some tough decisions. As 2018 draws to a close, the team grapples with questions of transparency, ethics, and the potential misuse of their technology. They know they're sitting on a goldmine of potential, but they're also acutely aware of the risks. In the labs, work continues unabated. The hum of servers and the clatter of keyboards form a constant backdrop as researchers push the limits of their creations. They're on the cusp of something even bigger, a breakthrough that will make GPT-2 look like a child's toy. But first, they need to address a pressing issue: money. In March 2019, OpenAI drops a bombshell that sends shockwaves through the tech world. They're transitioning from a pure nonprofit to a capped profit structure. It's like watching a vegan restaurant suddenly start serving burgers, but with a twist. They promise the cows are ethically raised and the profits go to saving the rainforest. The announcement is met with a mixture of confusion, skepticism, and cautious optimism. OpenAI creates OpenAI LP, a for-profit entity, while swearing up and down that they'll maintain their nonprofit mission and oversight. It's a delicate balancing act, like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Sam Altman, ever the smooth talker, steps up to explain the rationale behind this seismic shift. "We need to attract and retain the best talent," he says, his eyes gleaming with the fervor of a true believer. "And let's face it, top AI researchers don't come cheap. They're like the rock stars of the tech world, minus the leather pants and groupies." The tech press goes into overdrive, dissecting every word of OpenAI's announcement. Skeptics raise eyebrows, wondering if this is the beginning of the end for OpenAI's lofty ideals. "First, they create super intelligent AI," one pundit quips, "and now they're creating super profitable AI. What's next? AI that can do your taxes?" But OpenAI insists that this move is necessary to compete with the deep pockets of tech giants like Google and Facebook. It's like David bulking up to take on Goliath, except David is now accepting corporate sponsorships and protein shakes. The creation of OpenAI LP raises eyebrows and questions in equal measure. How exactly does one cap profits in the Wild West of AI development? Will the pursuit of the almighty dollar corrupt OpenAI's noble mission? And most pressingly, will they still have free snacks in the office? As the dust settles, OpenAI finds itself in uncharted territory. They're no longer just a plucky nonprofit fighting for the greater good. Now they're a hybrid beast, part idealistic research lab, part profit-seeking enterprise. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but with more machine learning and fewer murder sprees. The AI community watches with bated breath, wondering how this experiment in ethical capitalism will play out. Will OpenAI manage to strike a balance between its original mission and its new commercial focus? Or will it succumb to the siren song of Silicon Valley's profit-driven culture? Meanwhile, in the labs, the work continues unabated. Researchers huddle over keyboards, fine-tuning algorithms, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're on the verge of something big, a breakthrough that could change everything. But as they work, a new question hangs in the air. In this brave new world of capped profits and commercial pressures, will OpenAI still be able to pursue its lofty goals of benefiting all of humanity? The answer comes sooner than anyone expects. In July 2019, OpenAI drops another bombshell that sends shockwaves through the tech world. They've inked a major partnership with none other than Microsoft, complete with a cool $1 billion investment. It's like watching David team up with Goliath, leaving everyone wondering if they're about to witness a miracle or a massacre. The details of the deal are enough to make even the most jaded Silicon Valley veteran sit up and take notice. OpenAI agrees to license some of its technologies exclusively to Microsoft. It's a move that has tech pundits scratching their heads and reaching for their thesauruses to find new ways to say unprecedented. Sam Altman, looking like a cat that just swallowed a very expensive canary, steps up to explain the rationale behind this seismic shift. "This partnership allows us to remain independent while tapping into Microsoft's incredible technological resources," he says, his eyes gleaming with the fervor of a true believer. "It's like having our AI cake and eating it too." But not everyone is buying the party line. Skeptics raise eyebrows, wondering if this is the beginning of the end for OpenAI's independence. "First, they create super intelligent AI," one pundit quips, "and now they're creating super profitable AI. What's next? AI that can predict stock market crashes while simultaneously causing them." The tech press goes into overdrive, dissecting every word of the announcement. Headlines scream about the potential implications of this unholy alliance. Will OpenAI become a mere puppet of Microsoft? Or will they manage to maintain their independence while leveraging Microsoft's vast resources? Meanwhile, in Redmond, Microsoft executives are practically giddy with excitement. They've just scored a major coup in the AI arms race, gaining exclusive access to some of the most advanced AI technologies on the planet. It's like they've been handed the keys to the kingdom, and they can't wait to see what treasures lie within. But amidst all the excitement and speculation, a nagging question remains. What does this mean for OpenAI's original mission of ensuring that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity? Can they still pursue that lofty goal while simultaneously satisfying the commercial interests of their new corporate partner? The answer, it seems, lies in OpenAI's newly announced intention to license its technologies for commercial use. It's a move that signals a shift towards a more product-focused approach, blurring the lines between pure research and commercial application. It's like watching a noble knight trade in their shining armor for a business suit, leaving everyone wondering if they're still fighting for the same cause. As the dust settles on this landmark deal, the AI community watches with bated breath. Will this partnership accelerate the development of artificial general intelligence, or will it lead OpenAI down a path of commercial interests at the expense of its original mission? In the labs, the work continues unabated. Researchers huddle over keyboards, fine-tuning algorithms and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're on the verge of something big, a breakthrough that could change everything. But now, with Microsoft's resources at their disposal and the pressure of commercial expectations looming large, the question on everyone's mind is, what's next? The answer comes in October 2019, and it's not what anyone expected. OpenAI publishes a paper titled Solving Rubik's Cube with a Robot Hand, and suddenly the world is reminded that this isn't just a company chasing profits. It's a group of mad scientists pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Picture this: a robotic hand, looking like something out of a sci-fi movie, deftly manipulating a Rubik's Cube. It twists, it turns, it solves. But here's the kicker. It's not just following a pre-programmed set of moves. This hand is learning, adapting, overcoming unexpected challenges like slippery surfaces and nudges from researchers trying to throw it off its game. The tech world collectively drops its jaw. This isn't just another AI beating humans at board games. This is a machine demonstrating dexterity and problem-solving skills in the physical world. It's like watching a toddler solve a complex puzzle, except the toddler is made of metal and circuits, and it never gets frustrated and throws the cube across the room. As videos of the robotic hand in action go viral, the implications start to sink in. This isn't just about solving puzzles, it's a glimpse into a future where robots can handle complex, unpredictable tasks in the real world. Factory workers nervously eye their hands, wondering if they'll soon be replaced by tireless metal digits that never need a coffee break. But OpenAI isn't content to bask in the glow of their achievement. They're already looking ahead, plotting their next move in the grand chess game of AI development. In boardrooms and labs, conversations turn to the future. How can they apply this technology to real-world problems? What are the ethical implications of creating machines that can manipulate objects with human-like dexterity? As 2019 draws to a close, OpenAI finds itself at a crossroads. They've come a long way from that ambitious group of idealists who set out to ensure AI benefits all of humanity. Now, they're a hybrid creature, part nonprofit, part commercial entity, part Microsoft's new best friend. The journey hasn't been smooth. They've weathered the departure of Elon Musk, navigated the treacherous waters of Silicon Valley politics, and emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the AI world. But as they stand on the precipice of a new decade, the question remains: can they stay true to their original mission while playing in the big leagues of corporate tech? In the labs, the work never stops. Researchers huddle over keyboards and robotic appendages, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're on the verge of something even bigger, a breakthrough that could change everything. As the clock ticks towards 2020, there's a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain. OpenAI is going to be at the forefront, leading the charge into the brave new world of artificial intelligence. The robotic hand twists the final section of the Rubik's Cube into place, solving the puzzle with a flourish. As the researchers erupt into cheers, one can't help but wonder, is this the moment we'll look back on as the turning point, when machines truly began to... The calendar flips to 2020, and the tech world holds its breath. OpenAI has been suspiciously quiet, like a mad scientist tinkering away in a secret lab. Rumors swirl through Silicon Valley like fog rolling in from the Bay. What could they possibly be cooking up that could top GPT-2? In coffee shops and online forums, AI enthusiasts speculate wildly. Maybe they've taught an AI to write the great American novel, one suggests. Or perhaps it's an algorithm that can predict the stock market, another chimes in. Little do they know, the reality is far more mind-bending. June arrives, bringing with it the summer heat and a bombshell announcement from OpenAI. They unveil GPT-3, and suddenly, every other AI language model looks like a flip phone at a smartphone convention. Picture this, a language model with 175 billion parameters. It's like giving a supercomputer a library card and telling it to read everything. Twice. The tech world collectively drops its jaw, struggling to comprehend the sheer scale of this achievement. But it's not just about size, though in this case, it definitely matters. GPT-3 can perform a dizzying array of language tasks with minimal prompting. It's like having a linguistic Swiss Army knife, except instead of a bottle opener and a tiny saw, it's got poetry composition and code generation. As news of GPT-3's capabilities spreads, the reactions range from awe to existential dread. Journalists scramble to find new ways to say unprecedented and game-changing. Tech CEOs nervously eye their language processing teams, wondering if they've just become obsolete. In the halls of academia, linguists and computer scientists pore over the technical details, their minds racing with the possibilities. It's not just answering questions, one researcher exclaims, her eyes wide with excitement. It's understanding context, nuance, even attempting humor. It's like we've given a supercomputer a crash course in being human, and it's acing the test. The experiments begin almost immediately. Developers and researchers around the world start pushing GPT-3 to its limits, throwing increasingly complex tasks at it, like digital gauntlets. They ask it to write poetry in the style of Shakespeare, compose music lyrics, even generate code for simple programs. And GPT-3 delivers, with results that range from eerily accurate to hilariously off-base. One researcher asks it to write a love letter from the perspective of a sentient toaster, and the result is so oddly touching that it goes viral on social media. Another challenges it to explain quantum physics in the style of a surfer dude, and the resulting explanation is both scientifically accurate and totally gnarly. But it's not all fun and games. As researchers dig deeper, they uncover GPT-3's true superpower: few-shot learning. With just a handful of examples, the model can adapt to new tasks with startling efficiency. It's like teaching a child to ride a bike and suddenly finding them competing in the Tour de France. In boardrooms across Silicon Valley, executives sit up and take notice. The potential applications seem endless. Customer service chatbots that can handle complex queries with ease, content generation tools that can produce marketing copy in any style, code assistants that can help developers work faster and more efficiently. OpenAI, sensing the commercial potential, makes a move that sends shockwaves through the tech world. They announce their first commercial product, an API centered around GPT-3. Suddenly, the power of this linguistic behemoth is available to anyone with a credit card and a dream. The reaction is immediate and polarized. Proponents hail it as a democratization of AI, putting cutting-edge technology in the hands of developers and entrepreneurs worldwide. It's like giving everyone a superpower, one enthusiastic early adopter gushes. The playing field just got a whole lot more level. Critics, however, raise concerns about the potential for misuse. What happens when bad actors get their hands on technology that can generate human-like text at scale? The specter of deepfakes and misinformation looms large. Meanwhile, ethical debates rage in academic circles. Philosophers and AI researchers grapple with questions of authorship and creativity. If an AI can write a novel or compose a symphony, who owns the rights? And more fundamentally, can we consider its output truly creative if it's based on patterns learned from human-generated data? As the debates rage on, OpenAI finds itself at the center of a storm of its own making. They've unleashed a technology with the power to reshape industries, challenge our understanding of language and creativity, and potentially alter the course of human-AI interaction. In the labs, the work never stops. Researchers are already looking beyond GPT-3, dreaming up the next breakthrough. But for now, all eyes are on this linguistic marvel and the API that's making it accessible to the world. Developers flock to the platform, eager to harness GPT-3's power for their own projects. Startups spring up overnight, promising to revolutionize everything from content creation to customer service. It's a gold rush, with GPT-3 as the mother lode. As the summer of 2020 heats up, so does the competition. Tech giants watch OpenAI's move with keen interest, knowing that the balance of power in the AI world has just shifted. In boardrooms and secret labs, plans are being hatched, strategies formulated. Little do they know, OpenAI is about to drop another bombshell. As autumn approaches, rumors begin to circulate about a major deal in the works, something that could change the AI landscape yet again, something that would make the release of GPT-3 look like a minor software update. September 2020 arrives, and with it comes a seismic shift in the AI landscape. Microsoft, the tech behemoth that had already poured a cool billion into OpenAI, drops a bombshell that sends shockwaves through Silicon Valley. They've secured exclusive rights to GPT-3's underlying technology, effectively cornering the market on the world's most advanced language model. It's like watching a chess grandmaster make a move that nobody saw coming. Suddenly, every other tech company is scrambling to reassess their position, wondering how they missed such a game-changing play. In Redmond, Microsoft executives are practically dancing in the streets. They've just pulled off the tech equivalent of acquiring the secret formula for Coca-Cola. Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, can barely contain his glee as he addresses the press. This partnership represents a new chapter in AI innovation, he beams, looking like a kid who's just been handed the keys to the world's biggest candy store. Meanwhile, in the corridors of Google, Facebook, and Amazon, the mood is decidedly less jubilant. Emergency meetings are called, strategies hastily redrawn. It's like watching a group of mountaineers suddenly realize they've been racing up the wrong peak. How did we let this happen? A Google executive fumes, pacing back and forth in a glass-walled conference room. We're supposed to be the AI leaders, and Microsoft just leapfrogged us with one deal. But it's not just the tech giants feeling the heat. Smaller AI companies and startups watch the news with a mixture of awe and dread. It's like being a local coffee shop and finding out Starbucks has just acquired the exclusive rights to coffee beans. We're doomed, one startup founder moans, dramatically slumping over his standing desk. How are we supposed to compete when Microsoft has GPT-3 in its back pocket? As the dust settles, the implications of this deal start to sink in. Microsoft now has exclusive access to a technology that could revolutionize everything from search engines to productivity software. It's like they've been handed a crystal ball that can predict the future of computing. But not everyone is celebrating. Concerns start to bubble up about the concentration of AI power in the hands of a single company. Ethicists and tech watchdogs raise alarm bells about the potential for monopoly and the stifling of innovation. We're entering dangerous territory, one prominent AI ethicist warns, her brow furrowed with concern. When one company controls such a powerful technology, it raises serious questions about the future of AI development and its impact on society. OpenAI, for its part, defends the decision with the fervor of a parent explaining why they let their favorite child move in with the rich neighbors. Sam Altman steps up to the microphone, his face a mask of earnest sincerity. This partnership allows us to continue our mission of ensuring AI benefits all of humanity, he insists, sounding like a politician trying to spin a controversial policy decision. By working with Microsoft, we can ensure responsible deployment of this technology while continuing our cutting-edge research. But skeptics aren't buying it. How exactly does giving exclusive rights to a for-profit company ensure AI benefits all of humanity? One critic snipes. Unless by humanity, they mean Microsoft shareholders. As the debate rages on, the tech world watches with bated breath to see how this partnership will play out. Will Microsoft use its newfound AI supremacy to dominate the tech landscape? Or will this move spur other companies to redouble their AI efforts, ushering in a new era of innovation? In labs and offices across Silicon Valley, developers and researchers hunker down, determined to catch up. It's like watching the starting gunfire in an AI arms race, with everyone scrambling to build their own GPT-3 killer. But even as the competition heats up, there's a nagging sense that the game has fundamentally changed. Microsoft and OpenAI have rewritten the rules, leaving everyone else to play catch-up. As autumn leaves begin to fall, the tech world holds its breath, wondering what the next move will be. Will OpenAI and Microsoft rest on their laurels, content with their GPT-3 coup? Or do they have another ace up their sleeve, a breakthrough that will once again redefine the boundaries of artificial intelligence? The answer comes in January 2021, and it's a doozy. OpenAI unveils DALL-E, an AI model that makes GPT-3 look like a parlor trick. Named after the surrealist artist Salvador Dalí and Pixar's lovable robot WALL-E, this new creation doesn't just play with words, it paints with them. Picture this. You type in an armchair in the shape of an avocado, and boom! DALL-E conjures up an image that looks like it stepped right out of a hipster's fever dream. Want to see a snail made of harp strings? DALL-E's got you covered, serving up an image that would make Salvador Dalí himself do a double take. The tech world collectively loses its mind. Social media explodes with a flood of bizarre DALL-E creations, each more outlandish than the last. A Pomeranian sitting in a teacup on Mars becomes the new hello world, as developers and artists alike rush to put DALL-E through its paces. But beneath the surface of this digital art explosion, something profound is happening. DALL-E isn't just stitching together existing images or following a set of predefined rules. It's demonstrating a kind of visual reasoning that was once thought to be the exclusive domain of human creativity. In labs and universities, researchers pore over the technical details of DALL-E, trying to unravel the magic behind its digital brushstrokes. It's like watching a group of art critics suddenly become computer scientists, squinting at lines of code instead of canvas textures. It's not just generating images, one wide-eyed AI researcher explains, gesticulating wildly. It's understanding concepts, relationships, even abstract ideas. It's taking our words and translating them into visual representations in ways we never thought possible. The implications are staggering. Graphic designers nervously eye their styluses, wondering if they're about to be replaced by an algorithm that can churn out logos faster than they can say vector graphics. Advertising agencies salivate at the prospect of generating endless variations of product mock-ups with a few keystrokes. But it's not just commercial applications that have people buzzing. The art world is thrown into an existential crisis. If an AI can create stunning, original artwork in any style imaginable, what does that mean for human creativity? Is DALL-E a tool for artists to expand their horizons, or is it the harbinger of a world where human-generated art becomes obsolete? Museums and galleries grapple with these questions, debating whether AI-generated art deserves a place alongside human creations. One avant-garde curator in New York even announces plans for an exhibition entirely composed of DALL-E creations, titled I, Artist, The Rise of the Machine Muse. Meanwhile, legal experts start sweating over the implications for copyright law. If DALL-E creates an image based on a text prompt, who owns the rights? The person who wrote the prompt? OpenAI? Or does the concept of ownership even apply to machine-generated art? OpenAI, for its part, seems almost giddy with the reaction to DALL-E. Sam Altman takes to the stage at a hastily arranged press conference, beaming like a proud parent at a school recital. DALL-E represents a new frontier in artificial intelligence, he proclaims, his eyes shining with the fervor of a true believer. We're not just teaching machines to process information anymore. We're teaching them to dream. The statement sends ripples through the tech world. Competitors scramble to catch up, pouring resources into their own image generation models. It's like watching an arms race, but instead of missiles, they're stockpiling digital paintbrushes. But even as the hype around DALL-E reaches fever pitch, some voices urge caution. Ethicists raise concerns about the potential for misuse. What happens when this technology falls into the hands of bad actors? Could we see a flood of hyper-realistic fake images swamping social media, blurring the lines between reality and digital fabrication even further? Others worry about the impact on human creativity. Will DALL-E and its ilk lead to a homogenization of visual culture, with algorithms churning out endless variations on a theme? Or will it free human artists to push the boundaries of creativity even further, using AI as a tool rather than a replacement? These questions swirl through the tech world like a digital tornado, leaving everyone from Silicon Valley CEOs to starving artists wondering what the future holds. But one thing is clear. OpenAI has once again redefined what's possible in the realm of artificial intelligence. The labs at OpenAI buzz with renewed energy. Researchers huddle over screens, pushing DALL-E to its limits, dreaming up new challenges to test its capabilities. But even as they celebrate this breakthrough, their minds are already racing ahead to the next frontier. In a quiet corner of the lab, a small team huddles around a whiteboard, covered in complex diagrams and snippets of code. They're working on something new, something that could change the face of software development forever. Little do they know, they're about to unleash a creation that will make programmers question their very existence. July 2021 arrives, and OpenAI drops another bombshell on the tech world. They unveil Codex, an AI system that can translate natural language into functional code. It's like giving a computer the ability to understand a developer's stream of consciousness and turn it into working software. The programming community collectively drops their energy drinks, staring at their screens in disbelief. Codex isn't just another code completion tool. It's a full-fledged coding partner that can generate entire functions, classes, and even small programs from simple English descriptions. Write a function that calculates the Fibonacci sequence, a developer types, more out of curiosity than expectation. Seconds later, Codex spits out a perfectly formed Python function, complete with comments and error handling. The developer blinks, rubs their eyes, and runs the code. It works flawlessly. As news of Codex's capabilities spreads, reactions in the tech world range from awe to existential dread. Junior developers nervously eye their bootcamp certificates, wondering if they've just become obsolete. Seasoned programmers vacillate between excitement at the potential productivity boost and fear that their hard-earned skills might soon be as relevant as knowing how to operate a telegraph. It's not just about writing code, one wide-eyed CTO explains, gesticulating wildly with a whiteboard marker. Codex understands context, best practices, even design patterns. It's like having a senior developer looking over your shoulder, except this one never sleeps and doesn't raid the office snack stash. The implications are staggering. Software development timelines that once stretched into months could potentially be compressed into weeks, or even days. Startups salivate at the prospect of rapidly prototyping ideas without needing to hire an entire engineering team. Established tech giants eye Codex warily, wondering how it will reshape their sprawling codebases and development processes. But it's not just the commercial applications that have people buzzing. Computer science departments at universities worldwide are thrown into chaos. If an AI can write code this well, what does that mean for computer science education? Will future programmers need to learn the intricacies of syntax and algorithms, or will programming become more about effectively communicating with AI assistants? As the debate rages on, OpenAI drops another bombshell. they announce a partnership with GitHub, integrating Codex into a new tool called Copilot. Suddenly, millions of developers have access to an AI pair programmer that can suggest entire code blocks as they type. The reaction is immediate and polarized. Some developers hail Copilot as a revolutionary tool that will boost productivity and allow them to focus on higher-level problem solving. It's like having a super intelligent rubber duck that actually writes code, one enthusiastic early adopter gushes. Others, however, raise concerns about the potential for plagiarism and the erosion of coding skills. What happens when we become dependent on AI to write our code? One grizzled veteran programmer grumbles. Are we creating a generation of developers who can't code without training wheels? Legal experts start sweating over the implications for open source licensing and code ownership. If Copilot suggests a snippet of code that's similar to an existing open source project, who owns the rights? The developer who used Copilot, GitHub, or the original open source contributor? Meanwhile, in Silicon Valley boardrooms, executives grapple with the potential impact on their workforce. Will Codex and tools like it lead to a reduction in the need for human programmers? Or will it simply shift the focus of software development to higher-level problem-solving and system design? As the tech world buzzes with speculation, OpenAI remains characteristically tight-lipped about the future of Codex. But in their labs, the work never stops. Researchers push the boundaries of what's possible, feeding Codex increasingly complex programming challenges and marveling at its outputs. In a dimly lit corner of the OpenAI office, a small team huddles around a monitor, watching as Codex tackles its most ambitious challenge yet. They've asked it to generate a complex distributed system from a high-level description, something that would typically take a team of senior developers weeks to design and implement. The room holds its breath as Codex processes the request. Lines of code begin to appear on the screen, rapidly filling up with elegant solutions to thorny, distributed computing problems. The researchers exchange glances, a mixture of awe and unease on their faces. It's not just writing code anymore, one whispers, her eyes wide. It's architecting entire systems. It's November 30th, 2022, and OpenAI is about to drop a bombshell that will make Codex look like a child's toy. The tech world holds its breath, unaware that it's about to witness the birth of a digital phenomenon that will redefine the boundaries of human-AI interaction. Enter ChatGPT, the conversational AI that's about to turn the world upside down. Based on the GPT 3.5 architecture, this isn't just another chatbot, it's a linguistic chameleon, capable of adapting to any conversational scenario with uncanny ease. The launch is quiet, almost understated. A simple blog post, a tweet, and suddenly, the floodgates open. Within hours, social media is ablaze with screenshots of ChatGPT in action. People are asking it to write poetry, debug code, explain quantum physics, and it's delivering with a fluency that's both awe-inspiring and slightly unnerving. I asked it to explain the theory of relativity in the style of a surfer dude, one user tweets, their profile picture a mix of shock and glee. Not only did it nail the physics, but it threw in some gnarly wave metaphors that actually made sense. The tech press scrambles to keep up, churning out articles with increasingly hyperbolic headlines. ChatGPT, the AI that can do everything, one reads. Is this the end of human writers? Another proclaims, without a hint of irony. In Silicon Valley boardrooms, executives break out in cold sweats. Google's search dominance suddenly looks shaky. Microsoft, with its exclusive OpenAI partnership, is sitting pretty, for now. Everyone else is left wondering if they've just become obsolete overnight. But it's not just tech giants feeling the heat. Teachers eye ChatGPT with a mixture of fascination and dread, wondering if they'll ever be able to assign another essay without fear of AI-generated submissions. Copywriters nervously polish their resumes, wondering if their clever taglines are about to be outshone by a machine. Meanwhile, the public can't get enough. ChatGPT's user base explodes, hitting the million-user mark in just 5 days. It's the fastest-growing consumer application in history, leaving even the likes of Instagram and TikTok in the dust. The conversations people are having with ChatGPT range from the profound to the absurd. One user spends hours discussing the nature of consciousness with the AI, walking away with a newfound appreciation for the complexity of intelligence, artificial or otherwise. Another asks ChatGPT to write a sitcom episode featuring the founding fathers living in modern-day New York City. The result is so bizarrely hilarious that it goes viral, spawning 1,000 memes. But as the initial euphoria subsides, more nuanced discussions begin to emerge. Ethicists raise concerns about the potential for misinformation and the erosion of critical thinking skills. If we can just ask ChatGPT for answers, will we lose the ability to reason for ourselves? One prominent philosopher muses in a viral TED Talk. Others point out the biases inherent in ChatGPT's training data. The AI occasionally spouts outdated information or reflects societal prejudices, leading to heated debates about the responsibility of AI creators to address these issues. OpenAI, for its part, seems almost overwhelmed by the response. Sam Altman takes to Twitter, his feed a mix of excitement and caution. ChatGPT is an incredible tool, he writes, but it's important to remember its limitations. It's not infallible, and it's certainly not a replacement for human judgment. But even as debates rage about its implications, ChatGPT continues to evolve. Users discover new applications daily, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with conversational AI. From helping non-native speakers practice language skills to assisting developers in understanding complex code bases, ChatGPT seems to have an endless array of use cases. In the labs at OpenAI, researchers watch the explosion of creativity with a mixture of pride and trepidation. They're already hard at work on the next iteration, knowing that the AI landscape waits for no one. But as they push forward, a nagging question lingers in the back of their minds. What happens when an AI becomes too good at mimicking human conversation? The answer comes faster than anyone anticipated. January 2023 arrives, and with it, a milestone that sends shockwaves through the tech world. ChatGPT hits 100 million active users, a feat that took Instagram 2.5 years to achieve. The AI has gone from curiosity to cultural phenomenon in the blink of an eye. In university lecture halls, professors grapple with a new reality. I asked for an essay on the French Revolution, one history professor laments, running a hand through his disheveled hair. Half the class turned in papers that read like they were written by Voltaire himself. How am I supposed to grade this? The job market buzzes with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. HR departments field an influx of resumes, suspiciously devoid of typos and brimming with eloquence. It's like everyone suddenly became Shakespeare overnight, one recruiter quips, eyeing a particularly flowery cover letter with suspicion. Tech giants scramble to respond, their boardrooms filled with the frantic energy of generals planning a counterattack. At Google, executives declare a code red, their search dominance suddenly looking as precarious as a house of cards in a windstorm. We can't let a chatbot beat us at our own game, a Google VP thunders, pounding his fist on a conference table. Get every engineer we have on this. I want our own version yesterday. Meanwhile, in Redmond, Microsoft executives can barely contain their glee. Their partnership with OpenAI is starting to look less like a gamble and more like a royal flush. Whispers of integrating ChatGPT into Bing spread through the company like wildfire, igniting visions of finally dethroning Google. But it's not all smooth sailing for OpenAI. The explosive growth of ChatGPT brings with it a host of new challenges. Server farms strain under the weight of millions of simultaneous conversations, engineers working around the clock to keep the digital wheels turning. Sam Altman, looking like he hasn't slept in weeks, addresses a room full of journalists. We're thrilled with ChatGPT's success, he says, his voice a mixture of pride and exhaustion. But we're also acutely aware of the responsibility that comes with it. We're committed to addressing issues of bias, misinformation, and ethical use as we move forward. As if on cue, stories begin to surface of ChatGPT's less-than-perfect responses. A journalist catches the AI confidently stating that the capital of France is London. A programmer shares a screenshot of ChatGPT earnestly explaining how to build a perpetual motion machine. It's important to remember that ChatGPT isn't omniscient, an AI ethics researcher cautions in a viral Twitter thread. It's a sophisticated pattern-matching machine, not a source of absolute truth. We need to teach digital literacy alongside these new tools. But even as debates rage about its limitations and potential dangers, ChatGPT continues to weave itself into the fabric of daily life. Customer service chatbots suddenly become eerily competent. Aspiring novelists use it to brainstorm plot twists. Developers treat it like a tireless coding buddy, always ready to explain a tricky algorithm or suggest a clever solution. In the halls of power, politicians and policymakers grapple with the implications of this new technology. Calls for regulation grow louder, but the question remains: how do you regulate something that's evolving faster than legislation can be written? As January draws to a close, the world finds itself at a crossroads. ChatGPT has ignited a global conversation about the future of AI and its role in society. It's no longer a question of if AI will transform our world, but how and when. In the labs at OpenAI, researchers are already hard at work on the next iteration, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But as they code and debug and fine-tune, a new question begins to form in their minds. If this is what we can do with GPT 3.5, what will happen when we unleash GPT 4 on the world? The answer, as always in the world of AI, lies just over the horizon, tantalizingly out of reach, but racing towards us at breakneck speed. November 17th, 2023. A day that will go down in tech history as the moment the AI world was turned upside down. Sam Altman, the wunderkind CEO of OpenAI, is unceremoniously shown the door by his own board of directors. It's like watching a Silicon Valley remake of Game of Thrones, minus the dragons, but with plenty of fire and fury. The news spreads through the tech world like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of speculation and disbelief. Slack channels explode with frantic messages. Twitter becomes a cacophony of hot takes and wild theories. In San Francisco coffee shops, wide-eyed engineers spill their oat milk lattes in shock. Altman? Fired? But, ChatGPT just hit 100 million users, one startup founder sputters, his artisanal avocado toast forgotten in the face of this seismic shift. Indeed, OpenAI, under Altman's leadership, had been on a tear. From the viral success of ChatGPT to the groundbreaking release of GPT-4, the company had been redefining the boundaries of artificial intelligence at a breakneck pace. They'd gone from a quirky research lab to a $2 billion revenue juggernaut in what felt like the blink of an eye. But success, it seems, is no shield against boardroom drama. The tech world collectively scratches its head trying to make sense of this plot twist. It's like watching a star quarterback get benched in the middle of a perfect season. OpenAI's unique capped profit structure, once hailed as a brilliant compromise between idealism and capitalism, suddenly looks like a powder keg. The delicate balance between the non-profit board and the for-profit arm seems to have exploded spectacularly. And then there's Microsoft, OpenAI's $13 billion sugar daddy, watching from the sidelines with a mixture of horror and fascination. Satya Nadella must be feeling like he just bet the farm on a racehorse, only to watch it throw its jockey mid-race. The questions fly fast and furious. Was it a disagreement over the pace of AI development? A clash of egos? Or something darker lurking beneath the surface of OpenAI's gleaming facade? In the absence of official statements, the rumor mill goes into overdrive. One particularly juicy theory involves Altman, a secret AGI breakthrough, and a plot to take over the world's toaster ovens. It's quickly debunked, but not before spawning 1,000 memes and at least one hastily written screenplay. The board, for its part, remains frustratingly tight-lipped. Their official statement is a masterclass in corporate doublespeak, citing vague concerns about Altman not being consistently candid in his communications. It's like accusing a magician of being too secretive. Isn't that part of the job description? Meanwhile, in the gleaming offices of OpenAI's competitors, there's a palpable sense of schadenfreude mixed with genuine concern. Google's DeepMind team watches the drama unfold with a mixture of relief and apprehension. There but for the grace of God, one executive mutters, eyeing their own board members warily. At Anthropic, founded by ex-OpenAI researchers, the mood is more somber. They know all too well the delicate balance required to push the boundaries of AI while keeping ethical concerns in check. This could set the whole field back years, one researcher frets, absently doodling neural networks on a whiteboard. But it's inside OpenAI itself where the real drama is unfolding. The initial shock of Altman's ouster quickly gives way to anger and disbelief. Employees gather in huddles, their voices a mix of whispers and heated exclamations. Slack channels that were once filled with discussions of transformer architectures and reinforcement learning algorithms now buzz with speculation and calls for action. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president and Altman's right-hand man, doesn't mince words. In a blistering tweet, he announces his own resignation, sending another shockwave through the company. It's like watching the first domino fall in an elaborate setup, and everyone's holding their breath to see what topples next. As the hours tick by, a sense of rebellion begins to take hold. Researchers who normally spend their days pondering the intricacies of machine learning are now grappling with questions of loyalty and ethics. The very AI models they've created could probably generate a more coherent explanation for Altman's firing than the board has provided. In conference rooms and over hastily organized Zoom calls, a plan begins to take shape. It starts with a few whispers, grows into a murmur, and soon becomes a rallying cry. If the board won't bring Altman back, they'll take matters into their own hands. By the evening of November 18th, barely 24 hours after Altman's firing, the situation has reached a boiling point. In a move that would make even the most hardened union organizer proud, nearly all of OpenAI's employees present the board with an ultimatum: reinstate Altman, or watch your entire workforce walk out the door. It's a high-stakes game of chicken, with the future of one of the world's most advanced AI companies hanging in the balance. The employees know they hold the real power. After all, what good is a cutting-edge AI company without the brilliant minds who actually build the AI? The board, caught flat-footed by the ferocity of the backlash, retreats into emergency sessions. The once confident directors now find themselves in a precarious position, trying to navigate a crisis of their own making. As word of the employee revolt spreads, the tech world holds its collective breath. Will the board cave to the pressure? Will Altman return triumphantly, like a Silicon Valley Napoleon from Elba? Or will OpenAI implode, scattering some of the brightest minds in AI to the four winds? The clock is ticking, and the tension is palpable. In the labs where world-changing AI models were born, researchers now pace nervously, their minds not on code, but on the fate of their company. The air crackles with tension as impromptu meetings spring up in every corner. Whispered conversations and frantic taps on smartphones create a low, anxious hum. Meanwhile, in a sleek boardroom high above the San Francisco skyline, a different kind of tension reigns. The OpenAI board members, once united in their decision to oust Altman, now find themselves besieged from all sides. They huddle around a polished mahogany table, faces drawn, as they grapple with the full implications of their actions. "We didn't anticipate this level of backlash," one board member mutters, rubbing his temples. "It's like we kicked a hornet's nest and forgot we were allergic to bees." Another director shoots him a withering glance. "That's putting it mildly. We've got nearly 700 employees ready to walk out the door. Do you have any idea how many NDAs we'd have to enforce?" The room falls silent as the gravity of the situation sinks in. OpenAI without its brilliant researchers is like a sports car without an engine, all show and no go. And in the fast-paced world of AI, even a week of brain drain could set them back months, if not years. But it's not just the employee revolt they're contending with. Microsoft, OpenAI's $13 billion benefactor, has entered the fray with all the subtlety of a bull in a china shop. Satya Nadella, usually the picture of calm, is reportedly incandescent with rage. His carefully laid plans to integrate OpenAI's technology into Microsoft's products are suddenly teetering on the brink of collapse. Nadella's on the warpath, a harried-looking executive reports, having just ended a tense call with Redmond. He's talking about pulling funding if we don't get our act together. Said something about not investing in a circular firing squad. The board members exchange uneasy glances. They'd known their decision would ruffle some feathers, but this is starting to feel like a full-blown coup. The delicate balance of power between the non-profit board and the for-profit arm of OpenAI is unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. Outside the boardroom, the tech world watches with a mixture of fascination and horror. It's like witnessing a high-stakes game of chess played with live pieces, each move sending ripples through the entire AI ecosystem. In the Googleplex, DeepMind researchers gather around screens, watching the drama unfold on Twitter and tech news sites. There's a palpable sense of relief mixed with concern. There, but for the grace of God, one senior researcher murmurs, eyeing their own management warily. At Anthropic, founded by ex-OpenAI researchers, the mood is more somber. They know all too well the delicate balance required to push the boundaries of AI while keeping ethical concerns in check. This could set the whole field back years, a lead scientist frets, absently doodling neural networks on a whiteboard. Back at OpenAI, the negotiations have reached a fever pitch. Emissaries shuttle between the board and the rebellious employees, each side trying to find a face-saving solution. It's like watching a high-tech version of shuttle diplomacy, with stock options and AI ethics replacing land disputes and border negotiations. Sam Altman, the man at the center of the storm, maintains a sphinx-like silence. His Twitter feed, usually a fountain of tech insights and wry observations, has gone dark. But behind the scenes, he's far from inactive. Rumors swirl of late-night calls with key investors and whispered meetings with potential allies. The hours tick by, each one feeling like an eternity in the pressure cooker of Silicon Valley time. The tech press churns out breathless updates, each new tidbit of information sending shockwaves through social media. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash with billions of dollars and the future of AI hanging in the balance. On November 22nd, 5 days after Altman's initial ouster, the tension reaches a breaking point. The board, battered by relentless pressure from employees, investors, and partners, finally blinks. In a terse statement that redefines the art of corporate backpedaling, they announce Altman's reinstatement as CEO. The news spreads through OpenAI like wildfire. In the labs, researchers erupt into cheers, hugging each other with the fervor of soldiers who've just learned the war is over. Slack channels explode with emoji reactions and all-caps messages of triumph. Altman's return is nothing short of a coronation. He strides into the office, a wry smile playing at the corners of his mouth, to a standing ovation. It's like watching a tech version of Napoleon's return from Elba, minus the army, but with plenty of hoodies and MacBooks. But even as the champagne corks pop and the memes flow, questions linger. What does this mean for OpenAI's governance structure? How will the balance of power shift in the wake of this near-death experience? And perhaps most pressingly, what happens to the board members who pushed for Altman's ouster? The answers come swiftly and decisively. In the days following Altman's triumphant return, OpenAI announces a sweeping restructuring of its board. It's like watching a corporate game of musical chairs, except when the music stops, several seats are conspicuously empty. The board members who led the charge against Altman find themselves politely but firmly shown the door. Their departures are couched in the usual corporate euphemisms, pursuing other opportunities, and stepping down to focus on personal projects. But the tech world isn't fooled. It's a classic case of resign or be resigned, Silicon Valley style. In their place, OpenAI brings in a slate of new directors, carefully chosen to project an image of stability and expertise. It's a who's who of tech luminaries and AI ethicists, each name dropping like a bombshell in the industry press. We're committed to strengthening our governance and ensuring OpenAI remains at the forefront of responsible AI development, Altman declares in a press conference, his trademark half-smile firmly in place. The subtext is clear. The coup is over. and the king has not only returned, but consolidated his power. But even as OpenAI works to project an image of stability and forward momentum, the aftershocks of the leadership crisis continue to ripple through the company. In the labs, researchers throw themselves back into their work with renewed vigor, but there's an undercurrent of unease. The once unshakable faith in OpenAI's mission has been tested, and not everyone is convinced it's emerged unscathed. It's like we've all collectively agreed to pretend the last week didn't happen, one senior researcher confides over a hastily organized happy hour. But you can't unsee what you've seen, you know. Still, the AI waits for no one, and OpenAI is determined to maintain its breakneck pace of innovation. In the months following the leadership shakeup, the company unveils a series of partnerships and technological advancements that leave the tech world reeling. A collaboration with a major healthcare provider promises to revolutionize medical diagnosis using AI. A partnership with a leading climate research institute aims to accelerate the development of sustainable technologies. Each announcement sends OpenAI's stock soaring and cements its position as the darling of the AI world. But it's the release of GPT-5 that truly captures the world's imagination. Building on the success of its predecessors, this new language model demonstrates capabilities that border on the uncanny. It can engage in nuanced debates on complex topics, write code that rivals that of seasoned developers, and even show glimmers of what some cautiously term artificial creativity. The public reaction is a mixture of awe and trepidation. Social media explodes with examples of GPT-5's prowess, from hilarious chatbot interactions to genuinely moving poetry. But there's also a growing chorus of voices raising concerns about the implications of such advanced AI. We're creating something we might not be able to control, warns a prominent AI ethicist in a viral TED Talk. Are we Dr. Frankenstein, marveling at our creation, or the villagers about to be overrun by the monster? OpenAI, for its part, works overtime to address these concerns. They publish extensive documentation on GPT-5's training process and limitations. They implement new safeguards and ethical guidelines. Altman himself becomes a fixture on the conference circuit, preaching the gospel of responsible AI development. But even as OpenAI basks in the glow of its technological triumphs, storm clouds gather on the horizon. The company's rapid growth and soaring valuation, reaching a staggering $80 billion by February 2024, bring with them new pressures and expectations. Investors, emboldened by OpenAI's success, push for even faster development and commercialization. Regulators, alarmed by the pace of AI advancement, begin making noise about new restrictions. And within the company itself, tensions simmer between those who want to push the boundaries of AI capabilities and those who advocate for a more cautious approach. In the gleaming offices of OpenAI, where not long ago employees were threatening mass resignations, a new kind of unease takes hold. Researchers exchange worried glances over their monitors, their conversations punctuated by nervous laughter. The once collaborative atmosphere has taken on an edge, like a utopian experiment teetering on the brink of dystopia. In April 2024, the first cracks in OpenAI's facade begin to show. Jan Leica, a brilliant researcher known for his work on AI alignment, announces his departure. His resignation letter, leaked to TechCrunch faster than you can say non-disclosure agreement, sends shockwaves through the AI community. I can no longer reconcile OpenAI's current trajectory with its founding mission, Leica writes, his words dripping with barely concealed frustration. The pursuit of commercial success seems to have overshadowed our commitment to ensuring AI benefits all of humanity. The tech press pounces on the story like a pack of caffeinated hyenas. Trouble in AI paradise? One headline screams. OpenAI's brain drain begins, another proclaims, with all the subtlety of a neon sign in Times Square. Sam Altman, ever the master of corporate spin, tries to downplay the departure. We're grateful for Jan's contributions, he says in a carefully worded statement that manages to say absolutely nothing of substance. OpenAI remains committed to its core mission of developing safe and beneficial AI. But the cracks are widening. Barely a week after Lake's bombshell, Daniel Kokotailo, another respected researcher, follows suit. His departure comes with a scathing blog post that makes Likey's letter look like a love note. OpenAI has lost its way, Kokotajlo writes, his words practically sizzling with righteous indignation. We've become so focused on pushing the boundaries of what AI can do that we've forgotten to ask if we should. The one-two punch of high-profile departures sends tremors through Silicon Valley. In coffee shops and co-working spaces, conversations buzz with speculation. Is OpenAI sacrificing its principles on the altar of profit? Has the pursuit of artificial general intelligence become a reckless race to the finish line? Inside OpenAI, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense. Researchers who once debated the finer points of neural network architectures now find themselves arguing about ethics and corporate responsibility. It's like watching a group of brilliant scientists suddenly realize they're on the set of a corporate drama. We're not just building cool tech anymore, one senior researcher grumbles over a lukewarm cup of artisanal coffee. We're shaping the future of humanity. Shouldn't we be a little more careful about it? The pressure mounts as investors and board members push for faster development and more commercial applications. The delicate balance between OpenAI's non-profit mission and its for-profit arm starts to look about as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Altman, feeling the heat from all sides, calls for an all-hands meeting. The company's massive auditorium, usually reserved for product launches and tech talks, now feels more like the site of a tense family reunion. I know there's been a lot of concern about our direction, Altman begins, his voice echoing through the cavernous space. But I want to assure you all that our commitment to beneficial AI remains as strong as ever. The assembled employees listen with a mixture of skepticism and hope. They want to believe, but the events of the past few weeks have shaken their faith. To that end, Altman continues, a hint of excitement creeping into his voice, we're doubling down on our efforts to ensure AI safety. We're forming a new super-alignment team with access to 20% of our computational resources. A murmur ripples through the crowd. It sounds impressive, but some can't help but wonder if it's too little, too late. As May 2024 dawns, OpenAI finds itself at another crossroads. The company that once prided itself on its ethical stance and commitment to humanity's best interests now faces accusations of prioritizing profits over principles. The final blow comes on a sunny Tuesday morning. An internal memo, leaked faster than you can say corporate espionage, reveals that OpenAI is dissolving its existential AI risk team. The very group tasked with ensuring that artificial general intelligence doesn't accidentally wipe out humanity is being shown the door. The tech world explodes. Twitter threads longer than the Great Wall of China dissect every aspect of the decision. AI ethicists pen impassioned op-eds warning of the dangers of unchecked AI development. Memes featuring Skynet and HAL 9000 flood social media. Inside OpenAI, the mood is somber. Researchers who dedicated years to studying the potential risks of advanced AI find themselves suddenly adrift. It's like watching a group of meteorologists being fired just as a Category 5 hurricane approaches. I can't believe they're doing this, one team member whispers, her voice thick with disbelief. We're on the verge of creating something that could change the course of human history, and they're treating it like a quarterly earnings report. The dissolution of the existential AI risk team sends shockwaves through the tech world, but OpenAI's PR machine kicks into high gear. In a move that reeks of damage control, the company announces the formation of a new safety and security committee. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, except the rabbit is wearing a Trust Us t-shirt, and the audience is getting increasingly skeptical. The Safety and Security Committee will ensure that our AI development remains aligned with our core mission, Sam Altman declares in a press conference, his smile as polished as ever. But the tech press isn't buying it. OpenAI's new committee, safety measure or smokescreen, one headline blares. Meanwhile, former OpenAI employees start coming out of the woodwork, armed with NDAs and axes to grind. It's like watching a corporate version of a tell-all celebrity memoir, except instead of scandalous affairs, it's all about ethical breaches and silenced dissent. They made us sign agreements that would make a mob lawyer blush, one anonymous ex-employee tells TechCrunch. It's not just about protecting trade secrets, they're trying to muzzle anyone who might question their methods. The accusations fly thick and fast. Stories of researchers being pushed out for raising safety concerns, whispers of data practices that would make privacy advocates break out in hives. It's a PR nightmare that makes the leadership crisis of 2023 look like a minor hiccup. But it's not just former employees causing headaches. OpenAI finds itself embroiled in a bizarre legal battle when actress Scarlett Johansson accuses the company of using her voice likeness without consent. Suddenly, the cutting-edge AI firm is facing questions about copyright law and the ethics of synthetic media. We're not just pushing the boundaries of technology, one harried OpenAI lawyer mutters. We're rewriting the entire legal playbook. As the controversies pile up, the pressure on OpenAI's leadership intensifies. Investors start asking uncomfortable questions. Regulators make noises about investigations. Even OpenAI's staunchest defenders in the tech community begin to waver. In the midst of this storm, another bombshell drops. Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president and co-founder, announces he's taking an extended leave of absence until the end of 2024. It's like watching the first mate jump ship just as the waters get choppy. "I need some time to recharge and reflect," Brockman writes in a company-wide email that leaks faster than a sieve. "OpenAI's mission is more important than ever, and I want to ensure I'm bringing my best self to the table." The announcement sends ripples through the AI community. Brockman, long seen as the steady hand guiding OpenAI's ship, has been a constant presence since the company's founding. His departure, even if temporary, feels like another crack in OpenAI's once unshakable foundation. But while the public focuses on the leadership drama, a more insidious threat is brewing beneath the surface. OpenAI's meteoric rise has come at a staggering cost. Literally. The company's expenses are ballooning faster than a tech bubble in the late 90s, with computing costs alone threatening to eat up profits like a ravenous AI algorithm devouring data. Training and running the increasingly complex AI models that have made OpenAI famous requires computational power that would make NASA blush. It's like trying to power a small city with a hamster wheel, except the hamster is made of silicon and costs millions of dollars a day to feed. "Our electricity bill looks like a phone number," one OpenAI engineer quips over a hastily eaten lunch. "And not a local one. We're talking international dialing code territory." The company's efforts to monetize its groundbreaking technology have been aggressive, but the question remains, is it enough? New partnerships are announced with the frequency of Silicon Valley product launches. Apple jumps on board, promising to integrate ChatGPT across its ecosystem. It's like watching the cool kids table in high school suddenly invite the nerdy AI kid to sit with them. Time magazine signs up for a multi-year deal, giving OpenAI access to its century-old archive. It's a content goldmine that has researchers salivating and ethicists reaching for their worry beads. "We're not just building AI," one excited data scientist gushes. "We're teaching it history." But even as OpenAI inks these lucrative deals, the competition is heating up. Anthropic, founded by ex-OpenAI researchers, is nipping at their heels, attracting both talent and investment dollars. It's like watching your ex start dating your clone, unsettling and vaguely incestuous in the small world of high-level AI research. The pressure to stay ahead of the pack is relentless. OpenAI's labs buzz with activity 24/7, researchers pushing themselves to the brink in the race to develop the next breakthrough. Coffee consumption reaches levels that would make a Starbucks executive weep with joy. "We're not just burning the candle at both ends," one bleary-eyed researcher mutters. "We've set the whole damn candle factory on fire." But as the pace of innovation accelerates, so do the costs. The company's losses reportedly skyrocket from $540 million in the previous year to an estimated $5 billion. It's like watching a startup burn through cash, except instead of a garage, it's happening in a gleaming office tower with a view of the San Francisco Bay. Whispers begin to circulate through the corridors of Silicon Valley. Analysts crunch numbers with furrowed brows. Investors start to fidget nervously, their dreams of AI-powered riches suddenly looking a bit less certain. Then, in July 2024, the other shoe drops. Reports emerge that OpenAI could potentially run out of cash within 12 months. It's like watching a high-speed train hurtle towards a cliff. Impressive, terrifying, and potentially catastrophic. The news sends shockwaves through the tech world. Twitter explodes with hot takes and armchair analysis. VC firms huddle in emergency meetings, trying to figure out if they're looking at the next big thing or the next big bust. Inside OpenAI, the mood is a mixture of defiance and gallows humor. Researchers joke about starting an OnlyFans for AI models to make ends meet. Product managers frantically brainstorm new ways to monetize their technology. Maybe we could rent out GPT-5 for children's birthday parties, one suggests, only half joking. But beneath the bravado, there's a growing sense of unease. The company that set out to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity now finds itself in a race against time and financial reality. Sam Altman, looking more like a battle-worn general than a tech CEO, calls an all-hands meeting. The auditorium fills with nervous energy, researchers and engineers exchanging worried glances. "I know you've all seen the reports," Altman begins, his voice steady but tinged with an edge of tension. "I won't sugarcoat it. We're facing some serious challenges. But I want you all to remember why we're here. We're not just building cool tech, we're shaping the future of humanity, and that future is worth fighting for." The room falls silent, hanging on Altman's every word. He takes a deep breath, his eyes scanning the crowd. "We have some tough decisions ahead of us. We're going to have to be smarter, more efficient, more innovative than ever before, but I believe in this team. I believe in our mission, and I believe we can weather this storm." The room erupts in applause, a mixture of relief and determination washing over the assembled employees. It's like watching a team rally before the big game, except the stakes are the future of artificial intelligence itself. As the meeting disperses, the buzz of conversation fills the air. Researchers huddle in small groups, their minds already racing with ideas for cutting costs and boosting efficiency. It's like watching a hive of particularly intelligent bees, all working towards a common goal. But even as OpenAI grapples with its internal challenges, the external pressures continue to mount. The AI landscape is shifting faster than a chameleon on a disco floor, with new players emerging and established tech giants throwing their considerable weight around. Google's DeepMind, long considered OpenAI's primary rival, unveils a new language model that has the tech press salivating. It's like watching the AI equivalent of the space race, with each company trying to plant its flag on the moon of artificial general intelligence. Meanwhile, regulatory bodies around the world are starting to wake up to the implications of advanced AI. The EU proposes sweeping new regulations that have tech lawyers reaching for their anxiety medication. It's like watching a group of hall monitors suddenly realize they're in charge of policing a superhero convention. In the midst of this storm, OpenAI continues to push the boundaries of what's possible. Work on GPT-4o Mini, a more efficient and deployable version of their flagship language model, progresses at a breakneck pace. It's like watching a group of mad scientists try to bottle lightning, except the lightning is artificial intelligence and the bottle is a smartphone app. The formation of the new super alignment team, tasked with ensuring AI systems remain aligned with human values as they grow more powerful, adds another layer of complexity to OpenAI's already full plate. It's like watching a group of philosophers suddenly given the keys to a supercomputer and told to save the world. As 2024 draws to a close, OpenAI stands at a crossroads. The company that set out to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity now finds itself navigating a minefield of ethical debates, financial pressures, and technological challenges. The questions loom large. Can OpenAI maintain its commitment to beneficial AI while satisfying the demands of investors and the market? Will their technological breakthroughs outpace their ability to ensure safety and alignment? And perhaps most pressingly, in a world where AI capabilities are advancing at an exponential rate, can any single company truly control the future of this transformative technology? As researchers burn the midnight oil in OpenAI's labs, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, the rest of the world watches with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. The next chapter in the story of artificial intelligence is being written, and OpenAI is holding the pen. But as any good writer knows, sometimes the story takes on a life of its own, leading to places no one could have predicted.